Right now at 6, new video released into a shooting involving a police officer last week in Colchester. What we're learning about the moments leading up to that shooting.
Also ahead for you at 6, we're getting a new look at 2 initiatives to get people safe and affordable housing.
It's heartbreaking, to see it like this.
People who live along Job's Pond in Portland are pleading for help as water overtakes their homes. The actions officials could take to get relief.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Thanks so much for starting yours off with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Keith McGilvery. Good to have you here. When you make a mistake, you own up to it, right? So people won't repeat it. I walked to work, no coat today. Regretting that. It was chilly out there.
It wasn't too cold. I don't know.
I didn't say freezing.
We're kind of used to it.
And this concludes this morning's Point Counterpoint with Erica and Keith.
In fairness, I came by foot. In fairness, I came by foot.
This is true. I walked in from my car without a jacket, just a sweatshirt.
With the heated seats.
All right, Judge Judy, what say you?
I did not turn those on. I did not turn the heat on.
It's a little nippy out there, a little frosty. Temperatures are down with that front passing last night. We'll call it cold. It's not going to last, though. Sun's up. Temperatures struggle a little bit in the upper 50s. Big warm-up coming up. Nobody's going to be walking in the frost anytime soon. We'll talk about that coming up. Satellite radar picture has a light wind out of the north. Clear skies, abundant sunshine. That's the way we're going to keep it throughout the day. Where's it cold, Matt? So glad you asked. 30 in Torrington, 32 in Waterbury, Willimantic, Putnam. Some of you getting down, tickling the upper 20s this morning. Already starting to rebound the temperatures, especially obviously now that the sun is up at an earlier point of the morning. 35 now, 55 later on. That's not right. There's no storms. We'll get rid of that. Sunny skies now, sunny skies later. Talk about the weekend, see if there's any rain in that. That's all coming up in a few minutes. What say you, Rachel Piscatelli? Be the divider between the two of them, the deciding vote. Frosty or not?
I mean, I thought it was chilly, but also my threshold for that is,
non-existent.
Yeah, like heated seats, the heat is on.
I see you walk around the newsroom in a parka in the middle
I walk
of
around
summer.
in a blanket. Yeah, absolutely. So much so that our marketing team said, hey, do you want us to get you one that's branded? Yeah, please. All right, 91, all looking okay this morning, although we do have to tell you about one incident over in Bloomfield this morning, blocking a portion of Route 189, Bloomfield Avenue, closed in both directions. So if you typically are a traveler over in Bloomfield, be mindful of that. You will need to seek an alternative route. Following a crash over in Cheshire, 84 eastbound out by exit 28. We're seeing delays back behind this crash now. It does look like the right shoulder is blocked. Here's a live look outside with those delays stretching back towards exit 26. Keith and Erica, back to you.
Thank you, Rachel. 6:03 now on a Thursday morning, and we now have access to body camera video showing the moment an officer shot and killed a man in Colchester last Thursday. Police went to a home on Norwich Avenue after a dispute between the landlord, 33-year-old Jared Billard, and his second-floor tenant. The tenant told police Billard was acting erratically and displaying knives. Police found Billard in his basement apartment and started talking to him. Moments later, police heard Billard rack the slide of the pump action on the shotgun. They say he came out of the apartment and pointed the shotgun at Officer Kurlis Wasef, who then shot and killed Billard. The investigation into this deadly shooting continuing.
Authorities in West Hartford are trying to figure out what sparked a house fire. One person in that home had to jump from a second-story window to escape the flames. Now, the fire started at about 4:30 yesterday afternoon on Elmhurst Street. That's not far from Beachland Park. Now, one person had to jump from the second-story window. That was the only person who was home at the time. They were taken to the hospital. There's no word on their condition this morning. We're told the home sustained significant damage. The people who live there will have to stay somewhere else. Gunfire in Middletown led to some tense moments at Wesleyan University. The school issued a shelter-in-place order while police investigated. The shooting happened at around 2:30 yesterday afternoon near the intersection of Pearl and Court Streets. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Officers say it appears that the gunshot stemmed from a dispute between two people. They detained one of those people for questioning.
People who live along Jobs Pond in Portland fighting to keep their homes out of the rising water. Federal, state, and local officials have taken a look at the damage. Homeowners want them to declare a state of emergency because the crisis is getting worse. One family invited us inside their property as they face the possibility of relocating.
Finding some other place to stay. Hopefully, we can locate some places. My brother is already making space at his house in Cromwell for my mom in the event that, she has to move out.
Right now, officials looking into a short-term fix of pumping water out of the pond and into the Connecticut River. They say it could take up to 2 weeks to get that approved. Connecticut's news station very much dedicated to covering housing, accessibility, and affordability. And this morning, we're looking into a long-term plan drawn up by Connecticut lawmakers to turn formerly unusable housing into new units.
Yeah, we're checking in with FOX61's Brooke Griffin. She's joining us live in New Haven this morning. That's where officials are going to talk about this plan. Brooke, this would help a lot of people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two components to this plan, both a short-term and kind of a long-term option. And they're not only going to help people here in Connecticut, it's going to be a nationwide initiative. Now, leaders say the goal is to essentially take housing that is currently unlivable, renovate it, and then get it out to people who need it. Make sure that people have a roof over their heads and somewhere that is affordable for them to stay. Now, today, Senator Richard Blumenthal is partnering with various Connecticut housing advocates and leaders to announce what they're calling the Green New Deal for Public Housing Act. Leaders tell me this idea will be implemented cross-country if it passes. Now, with this act, the goal is to transform more than 900,000 public housing units in several states that may be currently unlivable. This means making them safe and renovated while staying in that same affordable price range. However, this would not be an overnight change. This legislation is a 10-year proposal that would cost anywhere from $162 to $234 billion. Now, you may be wondering how that's going to impact you here in Connecticut. Now, in our state, we are short more than 92,000 units for people who are looking for somewhere to live. Leaders say this plan would greatly knock down that number. Blumenthal is also expected to announce a funding initiative for state and local housing funding agencies to help on the front end of that project. So that's kind of that second part of it, is that short-term funding to really help people get on their feet and move into some of the places that do already exist or are currently being built. Now, I do plan to talk with Blumenthal around 9:30 this morning. We'll have more of an idea of exactly the timeline for this and if they think it could pass, how many people it'll help. We'll have more on that after 9:30. Live in New Haven, Brooke Griffin, FOX61, Connecticut's news station.
Brooke, you have aggressively covered all things housing for us. We appreciate it, and we will see you again at 7 o'clock.
Students at Yale University have been protesting for a week. At this point, protests remain largely peaceful. But some Jewish faculty members say enough is enough. About 60 of them signed a letter calling on the president of Yale to take action to keep Jewish students and staff members safe.
If the safety of the community cannot be guaranteed, then demonstrations need to be put on hold. I considered it my professional home, and it really breaks my heart to see how embroiled in hatred and anti-Semitism the university has become.
The professors are giving Yale's president until today to respond to their calls for action. We reached out to the university for comment, but so far we haven't heard back.
Protests formed at the University of Texas at Austin after hundreds of students walked out of class in solidarity. Police arresting 34 demonstrators, including a photographer from a local television station. Hundreds of local and state police officers responding to the campus. Some were on horseback holding batons. The university president issuing a statement last night saying our rules matter and they will be enforced. Our university will not be occupied. At the University of Southern California, officers arresting protesters in an effort to clear the center of the university's main campus. Before those arrests, the university warned people that the campus was closed and officers would arrest people who did not leave. Officers removed several tents earlier in the day.
This morning, the University of Columbia is extending a deadline for protesters to clear an encampment in the middle of campus. Students spoke about the ongoing protests yesterday. Many say that they're divided on the demonstrations and encampment.
I would like to see these students arrested, suspended, expelled, whatever needs to happen.
I would say the encampment is calling for complete amnesty, and that includes the removal of NYPD from campus.
House Speaker Mike Johnson visited Columbia's campus yesterday. He met with Jewish students who say they feel like they feel threatened and unsafe.
And today I'm here to proclaim to all those who gnash their teeth and demand to wipe the state of Israel off the map and attack our innocent Jewish students, this simple truth: neither Israel nor these Jewish students on this campus will ever stand alone.
Johnson also called for the university's president to resign.